Hey guys, I'm Sophie Burrell and I'm here today at PRS Guitars Europe to try out the brand new PRS pedals. So we've got Horsemeat, Mary Cries and Wind Through the Trees, and I've actually on purpose avoided socials. I haven't heard these being demoed and I have never tried them myself, so this is very much so a first impressions and first reactions video. Just to give you a little breakdown, I'm going to be using my favourite Custom 24 wood library and we're going to be running through the new PRS HDRX 20. So first of all, I'm going to be trying Horsemeat, which is the only kind of horse meat I'll ever try as a vegan. Interesting name, but I'm very excited to see how it sounds. So let's just start playing and tweaking and see what this bad boy can do. So first impressions then, I can tell that this pedal has a lot of range, which I'm a really big fan of. You can take it from just having like a subtle crunchy tone, something really suitable for rhythms, all the way through to some kind of like shred-worthy, really high gain tone, which is really, really great because it's not often that you get that kind of diversity. So I really, really like that. Let's carry on tweaking. So something that I really want to try is actually like taking the pedal from not being engaged to being engaged but at the lowest gain setting and then swooping it round to see that kind of transformation between clean tone all the way to high gain tone. So let's try that. I honestly think that speaks for itself. That's ridiculous, and I wasn't expecting it to have that much of an impact, so very, very cool. Right, I feel like I should tweak a little bit more. I want to play more. What if we put it to like 50%? Where does that put us? I also really like the fact that you can decide how much of it you want. So right now I've got the level quite low, so I'm just having it trickle into the mix, but it's already quite a lot. So you don't need much for it to kind of really add something to your tone and to your signal. So I also immediately, straight off the bat, really enjoy the fact that the overdrive isn't fizzy. I'm really not one for like muddy overdrives. I just don't find that they're very effective, and I don't think they enhance the experience at all, whereas this is like super, super clear. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of that. It definitely speaks for itself. If you've got a clean amp and you need an overdriven tone, that can be a little bit of a process trying to find something that's really suitable. That has so much range on it. Love. Really, really like it. Cool. So before I move on and check out Mary Cries on its own, I really just want to see what it sounds like with the Horsemeat and Mary Cries engaged together, because compressor and overdrive, it fills my soul with joy. So we're going to try that. So obviously immediately you could hear how much the kind of like volume of the overall kind of signal boosted, which is kind of one of the purposes of a compressor, obviously alongside making everything sustain a lot more. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to dive into now. So I really enjoy using compressors with clean tones because it really, really helps to kind of feed into the sustain and keep those notes sounding very glassy and buttery and beautiful. So let's try it with some cleans. As you can hear, when I turn it off, it does not sound the same. So it sounds lovely, you know, without the compressor. Obviously we're using an absolutely gorgeous amp, but with the compressor, it just really helps to enhance those kind of frequencies and just really like, I guess you could say it almost puts like a bit of a filter over the entire tone and just really brings out those beautiful sparkly tones and notes. So let's just have a tweak then. It's very, very simple. There's literally two knobs, which is all you need. You've got the output gain, which controls the kind of like a volume side of things, I would say. And then the compression knob itself, so how much compression you're actually adding to your tone and to your signal. So let's mess around and see what we can come out with. So you can definitely hear, like, when I tweaked it so that I, you know, took the compression kind of quite low down and then introduced it back in, I don't know how to explain it, but it essentially, well, it compressed the signal, didn't it? It kind of like smooths it out and makes everything sound super leveled and kind of consistent, which is something that I really like about it. And obviously, when I boosted the output gain, it got louder. So not only can you use this as a compressor, but you could also really use it as a boost for your solos or for your lead lines, you know, whatever you so wish to use it for. So a feature I also really enjoy about this, which I don't think I've actually seen before on any other compression pedals, is this cute little LED here. It's a super good indicator of how much compression you have in the mix. So you can see, obviously, if I've got it down low, it's not really engaged. And then once I turn it up and start playing, literally lit up like a Christmas tree. Sorry, let me roll that down again. So as you can see, it gets dimmer and brighter depending on how much compression that you have in your mix. So I'm going to come back to Mary Cries in just a little bit, and now it's time to check out probably the craziest pedal of this little trio, Wind Through the Trees, which is a dual analog flanger. I haven't actually tried that many flanges in my time. I don't even think I have a flanger pedal, but it's a very cool effect nonetheless. Let's just mess around. I'm excited to try it. It sounds like I'm underwater, and I am here for it, to be honest with you. That's like a proper vibey pedal, and it could be very, very interesting to use in the studio, to maybe come up with some proper strange sounds. You could pair that with a different pedal, like an octave or something like that, and come out with something super bizarre, which I like. I can see a lot of outcomes from having a unit like this. As you can see, I had the wet signal cranked all the way up there, so let's like dial that down a little bit, because obviously that's going to be super, super intense. And then this mix knob, it acts as a blend knob, so we've got two different flanges going on here, and this knob can control how much you have of each for each different effect. So if you want more of the first flanger, you can just have it on this side, and then if you'd rather have more of the second flanger, you can crank that all the way up, and you know, then your kind of like settings will be most apparent. Obviously, if I crank it all the way up, this second one here, we've got that pretty intense right now, so that's going to sound very intense. It can also sound very uneasy. That like caught me off guard. Yeah, that's super interesting. Little bit horrific at the same time. In an interesting way. You could put that in like some sort of movie or something if you wanted to create suspense. I'm for it. It sounds cool. So if I dial that back, so then we're focusing on the more subtle flanger, it sounds like this. So that's just like a really, really lovely sprinkle on top of a clean tone. Again, like, okay, so reverb and delay are normally my go-to effects, but I'm actually really quite a big fan of like chorus to enhance a clean tone, or flanger as well now. I just think they add a little bit more interest and kind of colour to it. So yeah, I really like that you can have that different option, like especially if you were on stage and you were doing a verse that just required a little bit of flange, and then you had a very weird suspenseful kind of like lead line that you needed to crank into. You could bend down and like smash that mix knob all the way up, and then achieve your desired tone. So I actually think that's really cool that you can have two different settings for that. I could spend literally weeks exploring this pedal because there are so many different things that you could do with it, but I do just want to delve in a little bit more, and particularly I want to have a look at this region knob here. I believe this is what makes it go crazy, so I'm just going to mess around with it and we're just going to see what happens, and I'm excited for it. Who is that? I feel like there's like a little man in my amp who's just like chatting at me. That's very strange. Okay, less of that, but maybe a little bit there, so we're, you know, hearing parts of our little friend. Okay, it's bizarre. So I'm just going to mess around with the parameters themselves a little bit more. Obviously, this second one was like super intense and I don't want it to be like that for now. And I'm also going to smash these down a little bit and kind of just move through and tweak as I kind of like see fit, if you like. Interesting. I feel like I'm on a plane a little bit there. I think that's because the rate is so slow, so you can boost that up. It's a bit faster. As you can hear, that kicking off in the background, it's too much. I don't need it, so there you go. Take it out of the mix so it's not moaning at us a little bit there. It's very, very pretty. I really like it. I think that you can, use it in a variety of different ways to make it sound absolutely mental, or you can have it so it just sounds really, really subtle, and I like that a lot. So I want to pair that with the compressor and just see if it like makes it even prettier than it already is. So here it is without. Oh, it's pretty, isn't it? I like that a lot. Nice. So there really are so many different possibilities with these pedals, and I really have just like scratched the surface. And I literally, if you had, a week with these, you could come up with the most insane combinations, I think. All of them in their own right are really, really beautiful, and they're very strong standalone pedals. There's not a single like nook or cranny that I found that made them, made me question them at all. I feel like, straight off the bat, without even tweaking anything, they sounded really, really beautiful. So yeah, I really, really like them. Sometimes, when I get to try different pedals, it can take me a little while to tweak them to get something that I think is really like a decent sort of setting, a decent tone. But all of these sounded like really very, very cool, like immediately upon trying them. It's just like blowing my mind right now. There's so many different things that you could do with them. So yeah, I'm going to take them home now. Probably stay up all night trying all of these different combinations and seeing exactly what I can come out with. So thanks so much for watching. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope to catch you soon. See ya!